Hello and welcome to the pairings for the World Othello Team Masters. I'm Luke Plowman and I'll be your host today, and this is Benkt and he is the Tournament Director for the Team Masters. We also have Ivan Chan with us and Daniel from the media team. So what is the World Othello Team Masters? Benkt?
World Othello Team Masters is a team tournament for the World Othello Federation's members. This year it is no World Othello Championship because of the COVID situation, sadly. So we decided to do something fun for all our members. So we created the World Othello Team Masters. So it'll be for all countries and something fun to do when we can have our own tournaments and the championships.
And how does the format work? I know we've talked about it and you've compared it with different football tournaments that have gone on.
Yeah, we ripped it off from FIFA World Soccer Championship, in fact, the football. And it starts with the Confederations qualifications, Asia, Europe, Pan American and Africa. And the best teams there going to 16 qualification. And then it's after that quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. So yeah, I'm excited.
So
This
the
will
draw
be fun.
today, yes, absolutely. So the draw today will be for the qualifiers for the group stage,
Yeah,
as it
for the
were.
confederations, yes.
Yes. And what expectations do you have, and what expectations do you think the teams have, Daniel and Ivan?
Yeah, I think best teams will probably be maybe China and Korea, depending on which players are playing on the games.
I probably think it depends how each country organizes the team. Well, some countries will try the very best to fill the best players for the team and make the team very, very strong. I just spoke to the number one player from China, Song Yang. Song Yang just said, "Oh well, they will have 31 players from China who will be attending, and they are doing the rotating styles to give every player a bit of chance to play for China. So if you put it this way, it means that China will be a very, very strong team to win the Team Masters."
And
Yeah,
I think you were
China
saying
will
before
have a
we...
good chance to.
No, go on.
No,
Oh,
that's
I
all.
think you were saying, sorry, I think you were saying before we started about the number of players that China have for rotation. Ivan.
Yes, that's what I just talked about. You know, if they really the 31 players from China will be attending, and I ran the XOT tournament lately for the Australian Othello Federation, and some Chinese players start to turn up. They just amazing, you know. And if you have those players attend, you know, the World Masters for China, they will be very, very competitive.
Yeah.
Yes, and obviously there are some teams that have a lot of players and some teams that don't have so many, and so it will be interesting to see whether having more players is actually a disadvantage because they have less of a team mentality than maybe some of the smaller ones, but then also a larger range in styles.
I think also we should remember. Yeah, sorry. I think also we should remember that this tournament also is good for promotion because a lot of people want to play. Okay, we cannot play live now, so we're playing online, and so many as possible want to have fun. And this is a very good operation and a club to promote Othello, to enjoy the tournament and spread the Othello we need to promote Othello, and this is a good way. That is my
Yes.
expectation of the tournament.
Yes, one of the positives of the pandemic, although it has been massively painful in a lot of ways, is that having these kind of tournaments online allows us to have a bigger reach with live streaming and things like that. So the pairings, how will they work, Bengt?
Yeah, work this way. Our guest will draw the teams, and as you see in the screen right now, we will add each team in the groups. So yeah, it's kind of easy, and it will work well. So I'm ready to start, and we will start from the groups B. I will fast show you. No, yeah. So each confederation have different pairing groups. Japan, China, Singapore is in Group A, for example, and Thailand, Hong Kong, Taiwan in Group B. So we will follow the pairing groups for each confederation and start with the lowest pairing groups and then go up. So I'm ready, Luke.
Yes, it's going to be exciting. And so we've talked about the format a little bit, obviously, before as well. So it's different for each region in who goes on to the next round, isn't it? How will that work?
In Pan American, the winners will go to the team top 16 qualification. But as you see, it's one group with 4 players and one group with 3 players. So the number in each group will meet in a qualification elimination game about the third spot for Pan America. 3 spots to team 16 qualification.
Okay.
So it will be 3 teams going from Pan America.
Awesome. Shall we start with the pairings then?
Yes. So I will move to the table.
Okay. So first it's the Pan American pairings. And for this group, the best team in each group will go to the next stage, and there will be a qualification match between the best second place. There will be a qualification match between each second place team from each group, as there will be 2 groups. Are there any groups that any teams that you think will be strong in this, Ivan or Daniel?
I think the Chinese team will be strong because they have so many players, and it's difficult to prepare for them so that you can't check everyone what they are playing and what they like playing. So I think they will have a good chance of winning.
What about in the American team?
The American team, I would think, of course, if Brian Rose or Ben Seeley they attending, they will be ultra strong. But well, the attendance is doubtful. I probably would think Canada will be a good team. You have good players like Tim and Jackie Fu. Hopefully they will play as well.
And someone in the live chat has asked, the teams are formed by 4 members.
Yes.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that each team will be 4 members, but you're allowed to have as many players as you want in the team. So one round could be a certain 4 players, and then the next round could be completely different 4 players.
Yeah, that's true. Can change players from each round, yes.
Awesome. Shall we move on to the pairings then?
Yes. So, if I get the table. Thank you. So we'll start with Pan America, and we started with the B pairings group, and we have B1, B2, and B3. So I will ask Daniel Turunen to choose one of those, B1, B2, or B3.
I choose B3.
B3.
Is Chile.
It's Chile. And then I will add that in Group A.
And Chile are quite a new country, I believe, with some good online players,
Yeah.
but not much in-person tournament history.
I agree with you,
How do you
Luke.
think
If you go to the rating page, Chile is not even on the list.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it will be.
Official website.
So it will be interesting to see how the online experience shines through, given that they're not listed as a country.
And now we'll take the spot for Pan American Group B, place number 3. And Ivan, choose between America B1 or America B2.
B2, please.
B2 is Colombia.
Well, again, Colombia, well, traditionally, we can't find it on the official website because I think one of the reasons is there are not many Colombia players attend the World Othello Championship. But now they're getting very active. Luke, do you remember in our WhatsApp group there are a few Colombian players like Jairo Salcedo? You know, he's very active. He always bring out some good endgame puzzles for us to solve, and some other good players like Javier. You know, so what do you make of it, Luke?
I think it's great to see these new countries that we might not have heard much from before. I think it's really good to see the game grow into other countries, and I hope that they are able to perform, given that a lot of Othello is online as well. I hope that serves them well.
So to team number 3 in the Pan American A, and I think Luke can choose Group B1.
I think I will then.
B1 is Mexico.
Yep. It's Mexico, another new country. So that group will end up being the battle of the newer countries, which will be interesting to watch.
And now to Pan American Group B, team number 2. And Daniel, you can choose between America A1, America 2, America 3, or American 4.
I pick American 4.
American 4 is USA.
And USA are the big one in terms of official rating. Daniel, is that?
Yeah.
They have a lot of good players.
Yeah, it depends if they get Ben Seeley and they get Brian Rose kinds of players, then they're gonna maybe crush Mexico. And let's hope it's not that way.
And don't forget about Jared Platt. He is new shining star on the Othello circle. He just won the Pan America Championship.
Yeah, he's also very strong.
He's very strong.
And so USA are one of the... Oh yes. And USA are one of the highest rated teams in the world, so stopping them will be difficult, but anything can happen in this game. So, to the next.
Yeah. Pan American Group A, Team 2. Ivan, you can be in America 1, America 2, and America 3.
America 2, please.
American 2, Argentina.
So Argentina are from the second biggest team in America, am I right in saying? After the USA? So given that they're in this group.
Yeah. So now the exciting, we have 2 left. Canada and Brazil.
Okay.
And yeah. Should we go for Daniel? Choose America 1 or America 3?
I will pick America 1.
America 1 is Canada.
Canada also have a range of good players, such as Jackie Fu, Greg Johnson, which should be enough to really push themselves as a team. But it also depends if they're able to perform.
And then we have, of course, Brazil. And here you have
Brazil.
the groups.
Well, Brazilian teams, we know Lucas Camargo, a good friend of ours. He's the #1 player from Brazil, and Moses always very active in organizing online tournament on Wind. So I think they will be very too.
So the way that it will work for the Pan American groups is that the winner of the B group, which is Mexico, Colombia, and Chile, will go through. The winner of the A group, which is the top 4 teams, will go through. And then the second place team from each group will then play each other for a spot in the next round. So it's looking at the 3 newcomers in a group, and then the 4 veterans of Othello.
If you
so it
put
will be interesting.
Now, you can see Group B, the 3 big guns, in Canada, USA, and Colombia. So it will be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be interesting to watch the second place qualification match as well.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to the African draw?
It is 2 teams.
Yes, what can you tell us about African Othello, given that there are 2 teams?
Africa is a country that have 7 members, but mostly of those members have 1 or 2, like Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, so they couldn't have teams. But South Africa and Ivory Coast have players enough to teams. Both was really African Online Championship last. So I think it can be exciting. And African Confederation west of 3, so they will play almost 1, 2, or 3 games to see who is the winner. And what we will do now is decide in which order they are, game 1 and who is 2. So I think it's Ivan should choose Africa 1 or R2.
Africa 1, please.
Africa 1 is South Africa, so they are Team 1, Ivory Coast is Team 2.
Okay. What do you know about those teams, Bengt? How will that?
I'm trying to write at the same time. What I know, South Africa have one real good player who I think is quite good. I don't know, Doc played some online against him. Thomas Peter, and the others is quite good too. And South Africa is can be the team who's going, but Family Riga and Ivory Coast are many players, and one is at the same level. So, yeah, to say. The Ivory Coast have played World Othello Championship. But Daniel, you helped me a little with the Africa Online Championship last year. Do you remember anything special from there?
I don't remember what I actually did last year. It's been hard.
You checked some games.
I think I remember helping you with some of the stories, but I don't remember what I exactly wrote.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Ivory Coast are very active in the Othello community as well.
Yeah.
So again, it's going to be a good game to watch.
Coast is because they are one of the few Othello Federation in the world who are also active member in the country's sports ministry and have a seat in the sports ministry board. So yeah, I'm very impressed of how active they are to make Othello a sport in the country.
Okay.
I just read some news, of fellow news. We know that they brought the game to the extra level, to a federal level. Some ministers are actively involved in promoting the game. We can learn from Ivory Coast.
Yes, and okay, just before we move on the Europa Confederation, European, Bengt, want to explain how the individual teams will work?
Sorry, I didn't listen. I was working.
Just before we move on to the European draw, do you want to explain how the individual matches will work between two teams?
Okay. It's 4 players in each team, and they play 4 games each against the opponent. So if you're playing for your team, you will play all 4 players. That means it's they're fighting about 32 points. We give 2 points, a draw 1 point, and a loss 0 points. So it can be everything between 32-0 to 0-32, and the draw is 16-16.
Okay. So, shall we move on to the European draw now?
Yes.
So out of the European teams, out of 24 federations, only 12 chose to attend the World Othello Team Masters. Does that surprise
Yes.
either of you? Daniel, being European?
Well, I think maybe it's difficult to get everyone on board for an online tournament because people generally like playing over the board, and it's not been possible over the past couple of years due to the pandemic.
Yes, and that might be maybe more so in Europe, just with tournaments like the EGP.
Yeah.
We have a very strong community, maybe compared to other regions. So
we
who
have
do
a
you
strong
think?
community, and you know it's a very big thing if you can't play for the board players. It's like a
Yes.
big force to draw people to the tournaments.
So who do you think is the favourite to win the European group? Your predictions?
I don't know. It depends on the team, but I know the Netherlands has very many good players, but I don't know if they will be everyone attending.
It depends on how each country perceive the importance of World Masters and the habits of games. As far as we know, Italian is strong, but well, some of them they join. You know, Alessandro Di Mattei, our good friend, he's very active. Apart from him, not many Italian players, I would know that very play actively. Maybe Paolo, Paolo is very. It is a country to look, and I think Spain will be a very strong team. Mario, Ruben, Sergio, they're all, and they're very keen playing online. Every time when we organize an online company, they're the first come and they always themselves in the top rank. So I think they could just like soccer as a favorite.
And as always, I will be supporting Great Britain, even though it probably won't come home, but we still believe. Okay, let's move on to the European pairings.
Okay, so we're going to start with pairing Group C for Europe, and we will go with Group B, team number 6. So Daniel, choose between Europa 1, Europa 2, Europa 3, or Europa 4.
I will pick Europa 2.
Sorry?
Europa
2?
Yes.
Israel.
Israel. Israel they're a relatively new team as well, I think. Definitely an underdog, but definitely able to perform if needed. So hopefully they'll play well. Also, someone in the chat has just pointed out that Germany has Matthias as well, who is obviously a very, very strong player, and if he plays, that makes Germany one of the stronger teams as well.
For Israel, don't forget the Schiffman family of the landed make a very, very active and very strong players.
Europa Group A, teams. Ivan, choose between Europe 1, Europe 3, or Europe 4.
Europe 4, please.
Europe 4. Spain.
Spain, they have a few good players. They have Mario and other good players. Daniel, do you think Spain will perform?
Yeah, I think Spain will perform well. We have, what's his name? Scogno Miglio. The guy who does the Othello.
Mario Madrona.
Yeah, him also.
Yeah, so they'll
Also, if
also
they
be an
can get-
exciting team to watch.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
Oscar Martinez is a very strong player.
and if they got Borja Moreno to play, they can be more stronger because
Yeah,
he's very
they
strong
also
too,
got-
but he's not playing so much online.
Okay, so
So-
on to the next team.
Europa Group B,
Yep.
Team 5. Daniel, Europe 1 or Europe 3?
I pick Europe 3.
Belarus.
And they're also one of the underdogs of the competition. So being in a group with Israel should be close to watch. An exciting game.
So we take Europe Group A, Team 5, and we have one left. So, Luke, do you want to take it?
I
Europe
think
1,
I will. Again. Yep.
Russia.
And Russia are maybe lower rated as a country than they should be. They have a lot of players that have started to come back in this pandemic and to play online. And they run a big online tournament community full of speed tournaments, don't they?
Yeah, they have the
So they're-
Russian online Othello League for the series.
So they're quite a strong but underrated team that we could see go far, especially
they will
in the
definitely
online
be worth
context.
reckoned with.
So
Okay.
go forward to the Europe Group B, Team 4. And then I will ask Ivan for Europe 1, Europe 2, Europe 3, or Europe 4.
Europe 2, please.
Europe 2, Ukraine.
Ukraine are also a pretty underrated team. So also a team to watch, being relatively new. They're going to be exciting to watch.
In Prague,
Yeah,
WC.
Ukraine player who regularly attends the Australian XOT tournament. Can't remember his name, but he's pretty competitive.
Yeah. So Europe Group A, Team 4. Daniel, choose between Europe 1, Europe 3, or Europe 4.
I pick Europe 3.
Europe 3. Sweden.
Sweden. Daniel, do you want to talk about Sweden?
Yeah, we have many strong players. We have Wettergren, and we have Oscar, and we also have Frönmark, and maybe myself included if I will be playing. I'm also strong, but not as strong as those guys.
Yes, also another team to watch, with players such as Niklas Wettergren as well. All very strong
it's
players.
definitely strong. Yeah.
and all very nice players as well. I remember being in Sweden and eating, I think it was reindeer for the first time. It was very tasty. So,
Yeah.
shall we move on to the next team?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's.
So Europe Group B plays team number 3. Daniel, I think it is. Choose Europe 1 or Europe 4.
Europe 1.
Europe 1 is Finland.
Finland. Finland are an interesting team because they're also an underrated team, but they have a lot of decent players that are active online more than in person. So I think it depends with Finland with who they can get to play. But they definitely have potential.
If Oli is playing, there will be a strong team. Oli's rating has reached 2,313, so he's one of the European players to lead the Finnish team. And also, I know Larry and his wife Katie. They are very competitive players as well. You know, Katie originally she comes from Hong Kong, and she met Larry, and she started to live in Finland with Larry. So you know, these players will make it very interesting for the Finnish team.
Okay.
So we take
Next
the
team.
last team 4. It is Group A. No, Team 3. Sorry. The last Team 3 is Group A. And I can take it because it's nothing to choose. It's Norway.
Norway. So they also have 3 good players whose names I'm not going to try and pronounce because I will mess them up.
I can do that.
That would be good.
Yeah, we have Ødegaard, Haugland, and Albrigtsen. I think if those 3 will play, and we also have others, Norway will get a strong team as Sweden and Finland. They are kind of equal if they all get the best players.
There are 3 Norwegian
been
players who are very active on Australian XOT tournament. Alexander Bo, Vida Albrechtsen, and Pelle Olsen Hamvik. They always join our XOT tournament online. So I would probably expect they will do the same for the Team Master.
Yeah. And if they can get Haugland or Ødegaard to play, the team will be strong. I promise. So, okay. So we go forward to the 4 last. And I think Group A is a heavy group with Spain, Russia, Sweden, and Norway. And Group B is Finland, Ukraine, Belarus, and Israel. So now we'll take the 4 last of Europe. So I ask Daniel to choose between Europe 1, Europe 2, Europe 3, and Europe 4.
Europe 1.
Europe 1 we have, and it is Netherlands.
Netherlands. They're a very strong team. They have Jan de Graaf and Royal Hobo, and they should be able to perform, I'd imagine. It depends on the players that are playing. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, and I think if they can also get Nicky, then they have a very strong team.
But Nicky van den Bigelaar hasn't been so active recently, I think.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see who they are able to get to play.
Yeah, but
And I think
generally speaking, they are very strong players.
yes. So another good team to watch. Okay.
So we take Europe Group A, team number 2. And Ivan, please choose between Europe 2, Europe 3, and Europe 4.
Europe 4, please.
Europe 4. Great Britain.
And I know a bit more about them, given that that's my team. Great Britain obviously has David Hand, who's a world-class player, very strong. Also, they have Guy Plowman, who has a long history of playing Othello and is also a strong player. Imre Leader is also signed up. He was part of the British team that won the World Othello Championships team back in '96, I believe, as was Guy Plowman. So they're also a team with many strong players. So it will be interesting to see if they're able to perform, or as with football, they just flop at the last stage.
So if we go forward, we have 2 spots left to fill, and interesting, it is the highest rated team, Italy and France, that we should add to Group A or Group B. So we're starting with Group B. Team number 1, Daniel, choose between Europe 2 and Europe 3.
Europe 2.
Europe 2 is France. And then we can already say that in Group A it will be Italy.
And who do you think is the stronger team out of
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Who do you think is the strong out of France?
I think Italy has many strong players, but they had Borassi before, but I think he's playing for Switzerland now.
No, Switzerland is not playing.
But they're also very strong French players, so I don't know which one will come out on top.
Yes, Italy of Barasti. They also have Alessandro Di
Alessandro Di
might be wrong
is
there.
also very strong.
He's a very player. And it depends whom they are able to convince to play for them. Whereas France have a number of good players who have performed well in these Othello tournaments, team matches. They have Takuji, Nicolai, and Kaspar, and they're all signed up for the team. So we know they have already. So it's just a question of, are they in form?
Yeah, so it's both world-class teams.
I should say about those two that A is a little bit more tricky, because in fact I think all 6 teams have a chance to be top 3. It's very hard to say, because as we say before, it depends on who's playing just that week and can they get the game, or what team will they have each game. So it is not a group where you can next game we take other team players who want to win, because in this group A you really need to have the best always. Group B is also hard. So Balsral and Belarus need to step up. So it will be interesting to see.
Yes, absolutely. Do you think we could just be on the the group picture, the top picture at the moment. So obviously there are some questions. The first question is, we'll go to the next stage from Europe, given that they're bigger. I think it's the top 2 teams from each of the 2 groups that will definitely go through. And then the 3rd place team in each group will play a qualification match to decide a 5th. So, Ivan, who do you think are the favourites to go through? Predictions for these groups?
I'm just looking at group and I'm scratching my head because what will happen, because as I said, Spanish players, they are very active online and we know how good they are. Probably feel a very strong team for the team master. But same as Russia, you have Alex Pavlinkov and Ivan Gudorov, they're very, very strong players, and they're also very active. So now it comes down to who's getting more active online. Traditionally, even it's all over the board. They really travel to a country to attend the World Championship. But now it's online and really challenge their habit. If they get used to the online environment, they like to play, and they will have a strong team. Or some other players will probably say, no, this is for me, and that will weaken the strength. So that's what I'm thinking. Looking at Group A, it depends. If I said, if Italy feel a strong team, they will be very strong. I know how good, they can't always win every week, in the Australian tournament. And same as or as you said, Imre Lead, top player of the world, they'll form a strong team as well. So I don't know, Group A is very, very tricky.
Yes, absolutely. Another question that's been asked, Benkt, how do we decide who is white and who is black in each game?
The pairing program, when they register, the pairings program will decide what team is black for each. But yes, if when Italy meet Great Britain, for example, all Italy players play black in one round and white the next round. So it will be so, but it's up to the pairings program to decide who is white and black at first.
Okay.
It was a technical possibility for the moment. So.
Yes, absolutely. So 2 very interesting groups there from Europe. Shall we move on to the final confederation now, which is the Asian region, which is the big one. They have the 2 teams in the world, Japan, China, and Japan obviously have shown an unmatched level of dominance in recent history in terms of Othello, and also have a large team to play. I think the big question is, will people be able to stand up to that? What are your thoughts, Ivan, on that?
Well, we know how good the Japanese team can be, and this could be well, if they feel the best players from Japan, I would say it's almost mission impossible to beat them. As I said, to the team masters, an online tournament, and it really comes down to that. Do they like to play online? other players a chance to represent the country rather than just showing the strongest players every time. So there's some tactics and strategies in there to determine if Japan will play the best result.
And obviously China being a strong team, as we've talked about previously, they both have massive choices of players to rotate through. So
I just spoken to, as I said, I spoke to the number one player from China, Song Yan. He said that 30 will be playing for China. So everyone will get fair share of chance to represent China. And wrong, even though those players from the bottom half of the ladder, they still competitive. So these 31 players, they are all of them are very good players, and other teams have to be very careful.
So China have 3 groups. Benkt, how will that work? I see it's the team each of those 3 groups that will go through, making that progress to the next round. So the third place team.
3 groups, 5 pairing groups. We have 3 groups. It will be 5 rounds, as in, and we have pairing groups. So we will start with the group E and go group A. So let us get team number 5 in Asia Group C, and I think it's Ivan start. So please tell me Asia 1, Asia 2, or Asia 3.
Asia 3, please.
Asia 3, Iran. And the silence is total. I can tell some about Iran. Iran is the growing country for Othello. They had over 60 players to 18 in the live tournament, and there was around 50 2019 in the Iran Championship. And they working hard to be good, get more growing, and now they're coming on to it's many of them who's playing online. We have 2 or 3 Iran players have played on the World Othello series on April and May, so it is on. So I'm not sure about the level, but they can maybe surprise.
Okay.
Should we take Group B, Team 5? Daniel, choose between Asia 1 and Asia.
I will pick Asia 1.
Is Vietnam.
And Vietnam have 2 players especially who will probably surprise the tournament. They have players that are especially good at speed, Othello, shorter games. Do you think that will benefit them as a team, Ivan?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Luke, did you just say one player played very well in the speed tournament?
They have a couple of good players who are strong speed players, yes.
Speed player means it's a 1-minute game or something?
1 to 3, yeah.
Well, but now I think we are playing, is it the 20 minutes we're playing now for this Team Master talk format?
Yep, it is. So it's the lines. 25 minutes each. Do you think having strong speed players will benefit them as a
This is, well, I think speed player, there's a different style as the traditional, I'll say a lay, you have more time, for this. So from my experience, right, I'm not the strongest player, but from my experience, I have more time to figure out and think about my next move. I got better chance to put on some poison move, to make it harder for my. But if I have less time, I will find it very difficult, tricky move. So I think there will be different tactics and how we use the time in actual competition.
Okay.
But as you said, if you think far, of course, it should benefit those playing a longer time to think. Just great.
Yes. Yes. To the next team.
So we take the last team, and it is Pakistan.
They're also a new country. So in the Asian federations, 95% of all registered federations actually signed up for this tournament as well. So that's including a lot of these
Daniel?
new teams.
Yes.
I think Daniel wrote an article about Pakistan Online Championship. Some
Yeah,
year
they
ago.
had like, was it 80 players or something? It was a crazy amount. So they're maybe an uncomer in Othello world.
Those countries as Iran and Pakistan, we don't know so much about. The Othello community is very strong and very alive, but they don't turn up on online tournaments or have possibilities to go to World Othello Championship and other tournaments. But they are very young and they have many players. That's for sure. Should we go to next group?
Yep, let's do it.
Asia Group D, and we start with Group C here, Team 4. And Ivan, you can start, choose Asia 1, Asia 2, or Asia 3.
Asia 3, please.
Asia 3. Indonesia.
And they have a lot more experienced players, but they also have a number of inexperienced players coming through who don't have as much of a history. So they may be able to surprise us. We'll have to wait and see for that.
Indonesia is an interesting story. The world champion, the female world champion Joanna Williams, represents Australia. But if you look at the World Othello rating online, she represents Indonesia. So we are pretty lucky that she chooses to represent Australia.
You also have players in Netherlands, Linda Presiputio, and also an American player, I think it's Joanna Chitra, who are Indonesian and could play for Indonesia if they don't play for USA or Netherlands. So it's a lot of those players who live in other countries and can choose where to play. So, Daniel, you can choose between Asia 1 and Asia 2 for Group B, Team 4.
I will pick Asia 2.
Asia 2. Mongolia.
They have a lot of players as a country. They're fairly new, but they have over 10,000 players. most of whom are younger and still learning, but they may be able to produce a number of surprises through this tournament. So another team to watch closely.
I'm very impressed of Mongolia because what they are doing is starting up a school, Othello, who is amazing. They had almost 4,000 players in a city called Darkan who have 250,000 citizens. So they work a lot in Mongolia and have done it real well. The level of the best players is still not high, but with so many players and tournaments they had, and also the interest to go outside Mongolia and play tournaments, the level will rise, definitely.
Brilliant. Shall
So,
we
take the last one? India.
And India are a larger team. They're especially good online at the moment, I believe. Who are their strongest players at the moment? Benkt.
Oh, I think it's Mehul Diaz. And Ashok, I don't remember his last name, is very good too. So they have 3-4 players who's real good if they can. Amar Roy is good too. So yeah, it's a.
And
they are very low in the WC rating because India have not played outside India for 4, 5, 6 years in WC. I think Mehul Diaz was the last one in 2012, in fact. But yeah, I should warn for India. They're real good.
but they've performed very well online recently. Obviously, Mehul is a very strong player. He's performed well in a number of online tournaments recently.
Yeah, Mahu is a very nice guy as well, and I wish the Indian team well in this tournament.
I got a question on from our viewers on YouTube, and it is how many teams will go forward from Asia. And yes, it is 7. So it's the top 2 in each group, plus it will be a qualification between the number 3 in it. So 7 teams from Asia, 5 from Europe, 3 from Pan American, and 1 from Africa. There you have all 16. Sorry if we forgot to mention that.
Awesome. Shall we
So
for the next team?
go forward. Group C. Now I start to be more and more excited. This is fun. We go into Group C, team number 3, and I will ask Luke to choose Asia 1, Asia 2, or Asia 3.
Asia 1, please.
Asia 1.
Yes.
Australia.
Oh. Ivan, do you want to talk about this?
I can talk about this for 2 hours. Well,
Maybe
Australia
just
team,
a minute or two. But go for
I'm
it.
only kidding, mate. Well, for Australia team, we have Matt Viner, who's a 13-time Australian champion. It's almost you can't beat him, you know. But in 2018, Scott Hughes won the Australian national and became the champion. And in 2019 World Othello Championship, Australia did pretty well. We came 7th in the team ladder. Joanna Williams won the female Othello Championship. So we had a pretty good team, and we are also very passionate in promoting Othello. Every Sunday, we organize XOT tournament and welcome everyone to join us.
What's just
So,
to interrupt you, Ivan? What's XOT? Just for viewers that might not know.
XOT, actually, I don't know the full name of XOT, just the random, how do you say it, Luke?
So it's a game where the first few moves are played randomly, but to a position that's equal for both players. So it removes a lot of the opening part of the game, which is obviously a part that people know very deeply how to play perfectly, more so than the mid game and the end game. So it's a lot more strategic than a normal game of Othello, given that there's less openings you can learn.
So far, I know that for Australia team, Matt Viner will play. Joanna William. There's one very good player called Alex Wong from Sydney. He will also play, and Fab Gribble from Perth will play. I will play as well, and hopefully we get more players to play. So we really passionate, and we try to do well. At least we survive from the group stage.
That's a good plan. Shall we move on to the next team?
Yes. So we're going to Group B, Team 3. So I ask Ivan to choose between Asia 2 and Asia 3.
Asia 2, please.
Asia 2 is Malaysia,
Malaysia. Can you tell us a bit about them, Benkt?
Malaysia have several very, very good players, and they are all equal. Stanley Oy is one very good player. They often do very good in WOC as team. They are not the top 3, but top 4 to 6 often. And many players taking between 7 and 9 points in WOC. So yeah, if they can get those players, it can be a very good team. However, they are not so many players. I think they're just around maximum 10 for a moment. So yeah, but I think Malaysia can be fun to watch. In fact, I like the players and the style.
Yes. Yes, as a team that is capable of surprising. So
Yes.
another team to watch.
So we take a last
Okay.
team of the group, and that is South Korea.
And South Korea are also a newer team, I believe.
Not really, but I should say South Korea and Malaysia is same level. They have a lot of good players, and they have a lot of connection to Japan Othello Association. They doing or did before the COVID a Japan South Korea friendly match game every year. So yeah, as Malaysia, they are good and can get the best players. It can surprise everyone.
Okay, shall we draw the next team?
Yes. So we did Ivan last, so I will ask Daniel to choose Asia 1, Asia 2 or Asia 3 for the Group C Team 2.
I pick Asia 1.
Asia 1. Here it comes. Hong Kong.
And Hong Kong. Hello? I think it's back now. So Hong Kong in the last World Othello Championships in 2019 were one of the top teams, and they have many strong online players as well. Daniel, do you think that will fare them well in the
I
World
think it
Othello
will fare
Team
them,
Masters?
fare them well, but I'm not sure about the Hong Kongese players. But I think if China is anything to go by, then the Hong Kong players will also be very strong.
But a couple of players we have to mention is Thelma Fu, is very strong player, and Wilfred Lam is also a very strong player, and Chong Wai Li, they are very good players, and they attended World Othello Championship before. They're very experienced, and I believe they will do very, very well.
Yeah, I played
And
against all
as,
three and lost against all three, so they are very strong.
Also,
yes.
Derek Ma is also a strong player,
Oh yes,
and
absolutely.
Peter Kong. And Peter
Yes,
Kong
they have
always participate in online tournament.
and I've definitely played against him, and he's a very, very strong player. And as
You
you've
mean
talked
Derek
about
Ma
this,
or Peter Kong?
both, they're a scary, scary team.
Yeah,
And
very scary.
as we've been talking about them, Velma Fu in the chat has sent a smiley emoji, so we know she's ready for. We know that they're ready for the tournament.
Should we take
Okay, shall we?
Group B, Team 2?
Yep.
And I will ask Luke to choose between Asia 2 and Asia 3.
It's 2. It's got to be 2.
It must be number 2. Thailand.
Thailand. So they have a strong team, but they don't have as much experience with these online tournaments. So they can be one of the top teams in this tournament if they can get their best players, and those best players are able to perform online as they would in person.
So now we choose Team 2 in Group A. And that is Taiwan.
And Taiwan were high up last year in terms of their team and their performance. What do you have to say about Taiwan, Benkt? Because I know many of their players will have double citizenship, I believe.
Yeah.
Could that affect
before
them?
before the first match starts, the players must choose if they want to play for Hong Kong, Taiwan, or China, because several of them have double citizenship. And we have seen that in World Othello Championship, that they sometimes play for Taiwan, sometimes for Hong Kong, and so. But yeah, that also make it harder for us to exactly know what team Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China will come with. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how it ends. But Taiwan also was high up in the last WC top 3, I think. So they can be good.
Okay, shall we move on to the final few?
Yeah, the 3 in Group A, and that is Japan, China, and Singapore. That we should
Yikes.
add. So I think it's a lot of teams now thinking, no Japan, no China, please, or no Singapore. So, Daniel, we start with Group C. Team 1, you can choose between Asia 1, Asia 2, and Asia 3.
I pick Asia 2.
Sorry?
Asia 2.
Asia 2. And that is China.
Oh,
And China are the
So we have a
second
derby.
best. Yes, yes, and China being the second best team in the world in terms of their rating at the moment. Obviously, they're a very, very scary team for other countries to go against. So they're
But we know
definitely.
what can happen in derbies, don't we, Luke?
Oh yes, it's going to be
So,
exciting to watch. Absolutely.
yeah. So, Ivan, now you will choose the last one we can choose, because then we know the last one. So, Group B, Team 1, you can choose between Asia 1 and Asia 3.
Asia 3, please.
Asia 3 is Japan. And then we have Singapore in Group A.
Do you think any team will be capable of stopping Japan as a country?
Not in the
progressing to the
group
next round?
stage. Not in the group stage. Well, I got no idea which team will come second in Group B.
Obviously, yes, Japan are a very strong favourite, so one of the main stories of this competition will be, will anyone be able to stop Japan or China having very, very strong play. They have strong players and they have a large number of players as well. So okay, so if we could get a close-up of the groups. So just in the chat, all of you watching, if you want to just type who you think your favourite to win the tournament is. Everyone type your predictions for maybe top two or three teams. And we'll see how everyone is feeling about this. What are you looking forward to about this tournament, Daniel?
I'm actually looking forward to seeing how China will do, because they have so many players, and it's going to be difficult to I probably can't check everyone to know what they will be playing. So they might actually have a shot Japan, maybe. I think.
Ivan, do you think there are any teams that is having maybe more experience online and in games than on the board?
Look at these three groups in Asia. For Group A, Singaporean and Taiwanese, they very active online, same as India. So I think there will be a very brief competition between these three countries for Group A. And for Group B, it goes without saying, on top, if they play normally. And for Group C, it could be between China, Hong Kong, and Australia. It's very interesting, based on the political situation and everything. It makes them all together, even in Othello, in the same group. Very interesting to watch.
And Benkt, the results of this tournament. When does the tournament tournament start, and where can people find the results and the news?
You go to othello.org, and there you will find the first page links to the tournament, also the latest from the media team about it, and we'll do the best we can so you easily can find it when you go into worldothello.org first page. And if you want to follow, you go to live.com, or you can go to vint.ee and challenge players and play against players, you too. And of course, during the tournaments there.
And obviously, all of our social media is down at the bottom of the screen. So make sure you follow all of those. And additionally, on Facebook, there is the official World Othello Facebook group as well. So make sure, if you're not already a member, you can join. And that will make following this tournament a lot easier as well. So in the chat at the moment, the main team that people think will win is obviously Japan, just being such a large team of such strong players. But USA as well is another team that's being mentioned. Do you think USA against Japan, if that match happens at any point, what do you think about that, Ivan?
You mean if US plays against Japan? Well, I would still think Japan will come on top because they play they have this and they play online all the time, so they all have the online competition experience. While USA, we just hope the top players will come back to this tournament, to play online with us and to create exciting competition for.
Awesome.
Just a question, Luke.
Yes.
Well, on the WhatsApp group, George Ortiz just asked, is there a website that we can see this very small on the live stream? So are we going to upload it on the Othello
Yes.
website?
So all of these groups will they'll be zoomed in on now, but it will also be available on worldothello.org.
They are already online at worldothello.org. So far as this broadcasting over, I will add the links on the first page. So 20 more minutes.
Yes, so if you're watching on a smaller screen, then go over to our website and you'll have a closer look at all the groups there.
We got another question here, Lucas, from about the format. After the group stage, what will
So after the group stage, there is. So this group stage is the qualifying stage, and so this is where all of the teams they get to play to determine their strongest teams to go through to the stage. Then after this stage, the top team will go through to the last, which is 4 groups with teams from all the regions in 4 different groups, and then these groups will then go to quarterfinals, and that's at that point it becomes a knockout competition, and so the winner of each of the quarterfinal match goes through to the semi-finals, and then the winner of those matches goes through to the final, and then the winner of the final is the World Othello Team Masters champion. It's very similar to a knockout football cup format, but if you're familiar with those, then yes, at the moment it's just groups, and then it moves on to a knockout stage. Okay, so the World Othello Masters, the finals will be in. We're all looking forward to them very much and watching the qualifiers and the tournament itself. And hopefully it will be a good substitute for an on-the-board World Othello Championships. And yes, but obviously we're also looking forward to bringing back in-person World Championships. So that's it for the pairings. So next, Benkt, I believe there's a video to show.
It's a video from Othello Academy, who do a lot of
in the
night
chat at the
video.
moment.
Yeah. So
Awesome. That video brings chills down my spine every time I watch it. Very nice video.
Yeah, the music is nice also.
Yes.
another news with Daniel.
Yes, so that's all from us for the pairing. So now on to the news.
Yes, hello and welcome to today's Othello News. I am your host, Daniel Turunen, and today's topics are the main winner, the Russian online Othello Series Females Cup, Othello Academy, and how to play online verified, plus the WOTM pairings that are done. So today the 41st online, the 41st Major tournament was played in Japan, and as you know, there is still the problem with the pandemic, so the players had to play with a screen between them on the table, and they also needed to sanitize their hands, plus sanitize all the discs that they were using between rounds. There were 69 players playing in the open class, and the ones that had a shot at winning their Meijin title in the last round were, let's see, Shinu Go, Kenta Yakuchiji, and Yura Abe. Yakuchiji lost his match and Abe defeated Go, which means that Abe earned his first Meijin title. On LiveOthello.com you can find the most important matches played during this year's Meijin tournament. Alright, on to the next topic. The Russian online Othello series was started to support WOF and Othello, and because we believe in increasing the validity of online tournaments, having players play with their real names is a must, and we also use pre-registration to make this very convenient. And now, today we have the third Russian online Othello series Women's Cup that will be played today. And we have a couple players that are already qualified. Those are Sharon Katzman from USA, Elvira Ra from Russia, and Velma Fu from Hong Kong is very strong. And since the tournament is played online, there are different time zones that you have to be aware. So you can find more information about the tournament on worldothello.org, and you can also find an interview with Alexander Selesov and information about the tournament. All right, on to the next one. And as you saw just now, we had a bit of a promotional video for Othello Academy, which is run by Alex Ko, who is very passionate about Othello, and he has produced over 100 videos that are good to view even if you are maybe an experienced or a veteran player, so that you can improve your skill. There are also openings and special games with commentary. So please subscribe to his channel on YouTube and support Othello Academy. And now on to the next segment. So you might be wondering how to play on Othello online, and you can do this on eOthello or on Vint, and you can also become verified on Othello Quest and these other sites. And if you need more information, you can contact your local, what's it called, local Othello Federation organization in your country, and ask them how you can become verified for online play. And now for the next segment. As you saw earlier, we had the pairings for the World Othello Team Masters, and if you want, there will be a total of 104 games played before the final on the 11th of December, and you can find the standings and all the information on worldothello.org. All games will be played online at the World Othello vint.ee. So if you want, you can sign up there to play with other Othello enthusiasts. On the 25th of September, Othello Studios will return with the pairings for the World Othello Team Masters qualification round 2. And that is everything we have for you today from Studio Othello this time. We hope you enjoy it, and we wish every team in World Othello Team Masters good luck. Remember that you can contact us if you are interested in working with us in the WOTM Media team, or if you have interesting ideas to make Studio Othello more fun. Studio Othello will return on the 25th of September with the pairings for WOTM qualification round 2, and we hope to see you there. Also, don't forget to join us on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to the WOTM YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all, folk.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for watching, everyone. And we hope to see you watching and following the coverage of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for looking at us, and see you in September.
Yes, we hope to see
Bye.
you there.
See you
Bye.
guys.